Thank you for answering the pretest. I am Dr. Maria Cristina Gorospe Moralion, a member of the Philippine Pediatric Society Southern Tagalog Chapter. Welcome to Ang Unang Yakap sa Piling ni Nanay, an online CPD on Essentials in Newborn Care. Essential Intrapartum and Newborn Care, or EINC, is a package of evidence-based practices that is recommended by the DOH, PhilHealth, and WHO as a standard of care in all births by skilled attendants in all government and private settings. Its mission is to improve maternal and newborn health care services in the Philippines through an evidence-based and time-bound protocol essential to the survival of the mother-infant dyad. The objectives of this session is to explain the evidence-based routine care of a newborn child in order to prevent neonatal morbidity and mortality with the following specific objectives: to discuss the 4 core time-bound steps of EINC, to present evidences on the rationale behind the EINC protocol, to promote initiation of breastfeeding. Unang Yakap, or the first embrace, is a tagline for EINC. It is a basic component of the Department of Health's maternal, newborn, and child health and nutrition strategy as an expression of the national commitment to achieve United Nations Millennium Development Goals, or MDG 4 and 5. When asked to rate yourselves regarding knowledge in EINC, only 31.9% had excellent knowledge about it. As pediatricians, we should be equipped with this knowledge and skill. The figure also tells us that 57.5% had good knowledge about EINC, 9.2% fair, and 1.4% has poor knowledge. When also asked if you religiously practice EINC or Unang Yakap in your hospital, the response were 32.5% always, 48.9% sometimes, 17.8% seldom, and 0.9% never. I hope that this online CPD will increase our knowledge and application of EINC to 100% as mandated by law and encouraged by PPS and the Philippine Society of Newborn Medicine. Statistics showed that from 1988 to 1998, under 5 mortality rate have decreased by 40%. But for the past 10 years, it has declined only by 20%. The slow decline has been attributed to the failure of improvement in neonatal mortality rate. The Philippines is one of the 42 countries accounting for 90% of all global deaths in children under 5 years of age, with 82,000 Filipinos die before reaching their 5th birthday. There are also over 40,000 newborns who die annually. It was found out by NDHS that 3 out of 4 newborn deaths occur in the first week of life. Because of these alarming statistics, health officials look for evidence-based solution as to what immediate newborn care practices will save lives. It was found out that the newborn's immediate needs are the following: to breathe normally, to be warm, to be protected, and to be fed. At perineal bulging, prepare for the delivery. Check the temperature of the delivery room. Notify appropriate staff. Arrange needed supplies in linear fashion. Check resuscitation equipment. Wash hands with clean water and soap. Double glove just for before delivery. As soon as the baby is born, what should be the first action performed? Is it A, clump and cut the cord, B, dry the baby, C, suction the baby's mouth and nose, or D, do foot printing? Routine suctioning has been the norm in newborn resuscitation because it was believed to be necessary to clear the baby's airway and to stimulate him to breathe. However, in the presence of clear amniotic fluid, especially in a baby who is crying and breathing at birth, routine suctioning has been associated with bradycardia, apnea, and delays in achieving normal O2 saturation. It also causes mucosal trauma with an increased risk of infection. Hence, the answer should be B, dry the baby. These are the 4 core steps of essential newborn care. Immediate and thorough drying, early skin-to-skin contact, properly timed cord clamping, non-separation of the newborn and mother for early initiation of breastfeeding. Within the first 30 seconds, immediate thorough drying should be done. After you call out the time of birth, dry the newborn thoroughly for at least 30 seconds. Make sure you wipe the eyes, face, head, front and back, arms and legs. Remove the wet cloth. Do a quick check of breathing while drying. During the first seconds, do not ventilate unless the baby is floppy and not breathing. Do not suction unless the mouth or nose are blocked with secretions or other materials. Within 0 to 3 minutes, during immediate thorough drying, make sure you do not wipe off vernix, do not bathe the newborn, do not do foot printing, no slapping of the foot or buttocks, no hanging upside down, and no squeezing of chest. After a baby is born, regardless of gestational age, he or she should be dried while positioning on the mother's abdomen. To breathe normally was identified as one of the baby's immediate and basic needs. A baby can die or become brain damaged very quickly if breathing does not start soon after birth. Drying stimulates breathing. The WHO emphasizes thermal care of the newborn as an essential intervention to prevent hypothermia, which can lead to infection, coagulation defects, acidosis, delayed fetal to newborn circulatory adjustment, hyaline membrane disease, and brain hemorrhage. During drying and stimulation of the baby, your rapid assessment shows that the baby is crying. What is your next action? Is it A, suction the baby's mouth and nose, B, clamp and cut the cord, C, do skin-to-skin contact, or D, do early latching on? Immediate cord clamping has been traditionally the standard in the country, but research has been done on delayed cord clamping and the results have shown benefits for both full-term and preterm babies. Hence, the answer should be C. That is, to do skin-to-skin contact. After 30 seconds of drying, you should now do early skin-to-skin contact. If newborn is breathing or crying, make sure you position the newborn prone on the mother's abdomen or chest, cover the newborn's back with a dry blanket, cover the newborn's head with a bonnet. Please make sure to avoid any manipulation like routine suctioning that may cause trauma or infection. Place identification band on ankle. Keeping the baby skin to skin with the mother preserves energy and accelerates metabolic adaptation and may increase the well-being of the newborn. The skin-to-skin contact not only helps the baby regulate his temperature, but it also improves bonding, protects the baby from infection by exposing him or her to good bacteria of the mother, and increases the baby's blood sugar. The first skin-to-skin contact should last uninterrupted for at least 1 hour after birth or until after the first breastfed. Skin-to-skin contact can restart at any time if the mother and baby have to be parted for any treatment or care procedures. Less well appreciated are its contributions to overall success of breastfeeding, colostrum feeding, stimulation of the mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue system, protection from hypoglycemia, colonization with maternal skin flora. One to 3 minutes after birth, properly timed cord clamping should be done. Remove the first set of gloves. After the umbilical pulsations have stopped, clamp the cord using a sterile plastic clamp or tie at 2 cm from the umbilical base. Clamp again at 5 cm from the base. Cut the cord close to the plastic clamp. Please do not milk the cord towards the baby. Traditional practices such as milking the cord and using binders have only been proven to increase the risk of infection. Milking the cord towards the baby, for instance, can actually result in a bolus of blood being introduced suddenly into the baby system and may conceivably cause complications, especially in preterms with fragile blood vessels in the brain. After the first clamp, you may strip the cord before applying the second clamp. Cut the cord close to the plastic clamp so that there is no need for the second trim. Do not apply any substance onto the cord. Studies have shown that properly timed cord clamping has the following benefits. For term babies, less anemia in the newborn 24 to 48 hours after birth. For preterms, less infant anemia, less intraventricular hemorrhage, no significant impact on incidence of postpartum hemorrhage. The WHO also recommends to wait at least 6 hours or up to 24 hours if possible. Vernix should always be left to absorb naturally. This is a natural moisturizer and protects against infection in the first few days. New researches also show that the vernix helps strengthen the newborn's immune system. Delaying a baby's first bath also helps promote immediate skin-to-skin contact between mother and child and breastfeeding and prevent hypothermia. It also prevents crawling reflex. Within 90 minutes, implement non-separation of newborn from mother for early breastfeeding. Leave the newborn in skin-to-skin contact. Observe for feeding cues, including tonguing, licking, and rooting. Point this out to the mother and encourage her to nudge the newborn towards the breast. Counsel on positioning. Check if newborn's neck is not flexed nor twisted. Newborn is facing the breast. Newborn's body is close to mother's body. Newborn's whole body is supported. Counsel on attachment and sucking. Mouth wide open. Lower lip turned outwards. Baby's chin touching breast. Sucking is slow, deep, with some pauses. Weighing, bathing, eye care, examinations, and injections should be done after the first full breastfeed is completed, and washing should be postponed for at least 6 hours. Recent research evidence from developing countries such as Ghana and Nepal show that the longer the start of breastfeeding is delayed, the greater the chance that the babies will die from infection. To initiate breastfeeding, we should leave the newborn between the mother's breast in skin-to-skin contact. At the start, the baby may still want to rest. Every baby is different, and the rest period may take from a few minutes to 30 or 40 minutes before the baby shows signs of wanting to breastfeed. We should help the mother and baby into a comfortable position. Then, observe the newborn. Once the newborn shows feeding cues, such as opening of mouth, tonguing, licking, or rooting, make verbal suggestions to the mother to encourage her newborn to move towards the breast. Here is an example of a proper skin-to-skin contact. These are the signs of readiness to breastfeed or feeding cues. The following points are important to remember in initiation of breastfeeding. Health workers should not touch the newborn unless there is medical indication. Do not give sugar, water, formula, or other pre-lacteals. Do not give bottles or pacifiers. Do not throw away colostrum. And if the mother is HIV positive, refer for special counseling. A mother can breastfeed her baby in any different positions. The mother is relaxed and comfortable. The baby's head and body are in a straight line. The baby's face is opposite the nipple and the breast. The baby's upper lip or nose is opposite the mother's nipple. The baby is held or supported very close to the mother's body. The baby's whole body is supported if the mother is in a sitting position, especially if her baby is newborn. If an older baby, supporting the neck and shoulders may be sufficient. And the following are the key points to good attachment. The mouth is widely open. The tongue is forward in the mouth and may be seen over the bottom gum. The lower lip is turned outwards. The chin is touching the breast. And more areola is visible above the baby's mouth than below it. To help a baby successfully breastfeed soon after birth, we position the newborn prone on the mother's abdomen in skin-to-skin contact. Transfer the newborn to a position between her breasts so that the baby can feed when it is ready. Watch for feeding cues. When the baby shows feeding cues, use a doll to demonstrate or verbally tell the mother how to position and attach the baby, but do not handle the baby yourself. Check the position and attachment when the baby is feeding. A baby's first breastfeed of colostrum is very important because it helps protect him from many common diseases and contains many important growth factors which helps to develop the gut, the brain, and nerves and the eyes. To help a baby successfully breastfeed soon after birth, we let the baby feed for as long as he or she wants on both breasts. Some babies will take frequent breaks. For babies who take a break, encourage the mother to offer the breast more often. Initiation is typically between 20 to 90 minutes. Breastfeeding should last at least 20 minutes. Keep the mother and baby together for as long as possible. Delay tasks such as weighing, injections, until after breastfeeding has been fully completed. And never bathe a baby in the first 6 hours of life. Here are some common questions with the EINC protocol. What should be done if a baby does not feed in 90 minutes after birth? We should help the mother to initiate breastfeeding within 90 minutes when baby is ready. If the baby does not feed in 90 minutes, examine the baby. If healthy, leave the baby with the mother to try later. Assess in 3 hours or earlier if the baby is small. How can a baby be fed if the mother is ill? If the mother is ill and unable to breastfeed, help her to express breast milk and feed the baby by cup. What options are there for a mother who have contraindications to breastfeed? Plan for alternative feeding method such as foster feeding, buying from milk banks, donor breast milks, or wet nursing. In summary, the following newborn care practices will save lives: immediate and thorough drying, early skin-to-skin contact, properly timed cord clamping, non-separation of newborn from mother for early breastfeeding. Please take some time to read the simplified ENC time-bound interventions. These are my references for this lecture. Thank you. Please watch the next video, approximately 9 minutes, This is the official training video for Unang Yakap by the DOH. Then answer the post test. All for the Filipino child.